Hello and welcome to the USA News Updates. Here are today's top stories. Japan government considers emergency fuel subsidies. In Tokyo, Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi said Japan is reviewing emergency measures to soften the economic impact of rising oil price triggered by the Middle East war. A fuel costs have surged after clouds climbered above $100,000 a barrel, raising fear of inflation and slower economic recovery in the imports independent country. Takaichi said subsidies could be funded from emergency reserves, noting the government is evaluating steps to caution the economy from the shock. Bangladesh universities closed early during energy crisis. Bangladesh ordered universities to close earlier and advanced the Eid holiday in efforts to conserve electricity as a fuel shortage deepened. The government also restricted fuel sales, citing the heavy disruption to energy imports caused by the Middle East conflicts. The official and the country, which imports about 95% of its energy, must take urgent conservation measures while global supply remains unstable. In Norway, economic growth forecast cuts, and Norway's government lowered its 2026 non-oil GDP growth forecast from 2.1% to 1.8%, citing uncertainty linked to the Middle East war and the global markets volatility. A finance minister, James warned that while higher oil price might boost national revenue, a global slowdown could reduce investment return and weaken broader economic growth. He said that the conflict's duration will determine how deeply it affects Norway's export-driven economy. In India, historic third T20 Cricket World Cup victory, India celebrated a major sporting milestone after defeating New Zealand by 96 runs to win the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, its third title in the tournament history. The victory triggered congratulatory message from national leaders, including President Draupadi Murmu and Prime Minister Modi. Officials hailed the triumph as a historical moment for Indian cricket and a major boost to our national pride. In Rwanda, Rwanda Women's Day celebration highlighting gender equality on 8 to 9 March 2026. A thousand of women and girls marched in Kigali to mark International Women's Day, showcasing Rwanda's progress in gender equality and women's leadership. The event highlighted the theme "Give to Gain," encouraging greater investments in a women's economic and social empowerment. Rwanda is widely recognizing for having one of the highest proportion of women in parliament globally, and official emphasized continued efforts to expand opportunities for women in a business, education, and in politics. In Rwanda, also a new investment as Kenyan official firm enters markets on 9th March 2026. Kenyan Financial Services Group, CPF Group, who has encouraged a $20 million investment in Rwanda, expanding its pension and financial services operation to the country. Officials says the move reflects Rwanda's growing reputation as a regional financial hub and aims to strengthen long-term saving and investment opportunities. The company said it plans to support retirement scheme and financial products for workers and business in the country's expanding private sectors. Kenya, deadly floods after Kenya. Heavy rainfalls, several flooding triggered by things. Rainfall has killed at least 42 people across Kenya, with the capital city Nairobi among the hardest hit areas. Authorities say rivers overflowed and flood waters swept away vehicles, disrupted the transport, and even affected the operation at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Rescue teams, including military units, are searching for missing people while the government distributes emergency food supplies to affected communities. Scientists warn that climate change is increasing the likelihoods of such extreme rainfall events in East Africa. In Guinea, junta dissolves a dozen of political parties. Guinea's military-led government has dissolved around 14 political parties, a move critics say threatens political control ahead of the transition back to civilian rules. Opposition leader condemned the decree and warned it could trigger protests, with the one of the prominent figure calling for direct resistance against the government's decisions. The government argued the measure is part of two reform aimed at reorganizing the country's political system, but analysts say it may deepen tension between authorities and opposition groups. Those were the latest regional and international developments. For continued in-depth analysis and breaking news, stay with the USA New Times, your trusted source for global affairs.